down, shut up, and pay attention.
Damn!
This is the Rants of Izzo Show with your hosts, Dominick Izzo, from porn to politics. We touch every third rail we can find. You might want to put your headphones on so your mom can't hear this. It's been called the most entertaining 60 minutes on the internet, and it starts now. Let's do this.
All right, happy Wednesday, Rants of Izzo Show here on Spreey Media, Spreely.com. It's your one-stop shop for everything free speech. I don't give a shit who says, we have a free speech platform. No, they don't. And most of these people, they're fucking posers, and they come out of nowhere, and they create this stupid read your sister's voice media ass. They're around for 6 months. They ride the Trump dick, and then they disappear because they got a bunch of fucking prima donnas who jump on the show, and they're like, oh, I want to be the featured person who's the most important shit. Spreely, we don't give a Spreely doesn't fucking care about the diva I am. They're like, man, free speech. Shut the fuck up. Do a show. We're happy with that. Also joining me from Spreely, the Burn Pit Podcast, gents. What's going on, dudes? How are you today?
What's up, brother? How's it going, brother?
It's fucking Wednesday, dude. I want to jump right into it. I want to talk about a thing that I think the liberal left needs to just come out and say they want to plan for. Negronomics. Now, follow me for a second. Did you listen to Kathy Holcomb the other day and what she said about the poor young black youth of her state who does not know what a computer is? Did you happen to hear what she said?
I did not.
Oh,
no, I missed that too.
I will be more than happy to play this. Okay. Let me... Hey, because we don't have a producer yet while I'm doing this, why don't you guys give a plug to the Burn Pit Podcast, please?
Yeah, of course. Every Monday at 4 o'clock on the East Coast, 1 o'clock on the West Coast, we are live here on Spreey TV. Spreey stands for Speak Freely. You can find Spreey on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire Stick. Also, download the Freedom Hub app right to your phone or smart device. Just go in the App Store, type in Freedom Hub, all one word. And it's absolutely free. It costs you nothing. It supports podcasts just like this. And Dominic, when you started the show, you're absolutely right. Spreely is a real free speech platform because the people there at Spreely, Chelsea and Terry, they've been great to us, have never once given us any flack. For those that haven't watched us, maybe you're seeing us for the first time here on the Rants of Izzo Show every Wednesday, by the way, at 1 o'clock. We'll be here, me and Matty Wack. If you haven't watched the Burn Pit Podcast, we don't hold back.
No.
We say whatever we want, and we go over some very controversial topics, stuff that would not be allowed. In fact, I'm still surprised that our YouTube channel is still standing.
Yeah, and someone showed up to confront us at the studio.
That's
actually.
Right. So we're hitting some nerves there, but not once has Spreely ever said, "Hey, can you kind of pull back on the pile of shoes talk there?"
Right.
So, never once have they said anything to us. It's real free speech. So join us live every Monday. You'll find we have guests on that a lot of people won't even talk to, from E. Michael Jones, Ken O'Keefe, Ian Smith, of course, now is having some sort of great awakening. Lucas Gage, Sam Parker, the guys that we have connections with. And even recently, my brother-in-law, Bryce Mitchell, has been on the show 3 times now. He was just on the Hodge Twins, and he had some choice words for a little hat-wearing guy, Ben Shapiro. So that was nice. But, yes, every Monday, Spreely TV, Burn Pit Podcast, Scott Sieverts, Matty Wack.
Be there or be nowhere.
There it is.
Okay. Governor Kathy Holcomb, she's New York, right? I want to play what she had to say. This is a global conference forum the other day.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges.
So is it, I think this is the response of what Governor Holcomb had to say. Well, that's just rude, man. She's upsetting the masses with you. All right, we get it. We get it. You don't like what she had to say there. Why don't they just come out and say Negronomics? Why? Why don't they just say we're setting up a new type of program for y'all, just you uneducated yard apes who just can't sit there and put two and two together. They constantly say it's the right who's racist. I don't know how much more blatant you have to be to prove that you're a fucking racist than what she just said. Or am I way off? Am I way off?
No, I think you're absolutely right. And you can even look at the voter ID laws. For people that say they voter ID laws are racist in some way, what you're saying there basically is that these people in these low-income urban areas, they don't have access to, they don't know where the DMV is. They don't know how to get an ID. They don't have access to the same things that you do. I mean, meanwhile, takes an ID to buy cigarettes. It takes an ID to buy liquor. It takes an ID to collect food stamps. So that's absolutely absurd and ridiculous. And the Democrats, when they say things like that, no one ever calls them out on it. No one ever says, hey, are you kidding me? Are you being serious right now? Kathleen Hochul? I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, well, two things here. Number one, there is no shortage in funds on either side, whether it's the people or the government. I mean, these guys have no problem purchasing $200 Air Jordans. They have no problem purchasing, $1,000 rims for their '86 Chrysler LeBarons. They don't have problems purchasing, hundreds of dollars in Newport Kings every month for their cigarettes.
No, Matthew. Come on, guys. Is it a Chicago thing? If I said, give me a pack of what I ams.
Oh,
it's a pack of Cools.
Well, that's my point. My point is this. It doesn't matter because guess what, Dominic? What the fuck is anybody going to do about it?
Nothing.
Matthew always goes to that.
They're going to continue to vote. Here's, again, in good follow-up fashion, Mayor Eric Adams, black, former NYPD, I believe he was a command staff sergeant of New York, makes a statement. He had just said, and I guess this is the insanity, and there's nothing else we could do outside of every fucking show, rant and rave and bitch and complain about the obvious, because some of us, and I'm me, not clearly not Maddie, some of us are not ready to just pull the fucking trigger yet, right? So I'm like, man, and it is the insanity. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, and every fucking week it's like I'm bitching about shit that is just, what are you going to do about it? But here, Eric Adams was just a matter of weeks ago saying how the massive influx of illegal criminal invaders was destroying New York City. Well, today apparently, or yesterday, he found a solution, which I'm going to play.
Okay.
That states those jobs that we are in high demand, we could expedite. How do we have a large body of people that are in our city and country that are excellent swimmers, and at the same time we need lifeguards? And the only obstacle is that we won't give them the right to work to become a lifeguard.
Are you fucking kidding me? If that was a white guy or a conservative who had said that, they'd be calling for his head. But apparently, since Hispanics are good at swimming, let's make them all lifeguards here. The blacks, I'm sorry, no, we know they can't swim and the water would only beat off their skin. So we can't do that because that's clearly not racist. Holy shit! I just don't get it, dude. Maybe I just need a new profession. I don't know.
Well, they need us. Well, not us, but they need a permanent underclass, the Democratic Party. They need people to stay in these sections that they've put them in. We talk about, Republicans historically have been the ones accused of being racist, accused of being heartless. That's the moniker that the Republicans have, is that we're heartless. You only care about money. You're greedy. You don't care about the old folks in the old folks' home. All you care about is money, and that's what it is. Meanwhile, the Democrats, they care about the working man. They care about the African Americans. They're there for them, and they keep putting them into these groups. Well, if you're black, you should vote Democrat. And they keep saying these comments like this. that Hispanics can swim well, so they should be lifeguards, and the blacks don't have access to computers and all this.
Well, I've never even heard the swimming with the migrants. Cubans, yeah, but I get eaten by sharks coming over. Like, it doesn't matter, right? Because again, no one's going to do anything about it. But illegal immigrants are fucking illegal, and guess what?
They're the lifeblood of the country.
Conservatives, again, are the pussies here. They actually cuck themselves and back off in defense every time they're called a racist, because they don't want to be labeled that in the media. So they back off, and they have to then go through these mental gymnastics to try and prove to everybody that they're not. So they actually are on the defense because they're so pussified that they don't go on the offense. So whenever people are constantly called racist and cuck themselves to that, then that's the problem. You are the loser because you didn't fight back against it and turn the tables. So the white conservative Republican men in this country, and I'm speaking about the men just because they're the ones who should be taking active measures, are too afraid to be called a bad name. So that's why they used that phrase. Edward Griffin, back in the 60s, this is the guy who interviewed Yuri Bezmenov. He wrote the book, Creature of Jekyll Island, about the creation of the Federal Reserve. Huge historian when it comes to communism and Marxism. This is a tactic they have been using since the early 60s, mid-60s. Call your opponent a racist or fascist or Nazi.
So you demonize your opponent.
Demonize your opponent because those names will have a negative connotation and they don't like it. Right. So, and the word racist was actually, I think, invented by a guy named Leon Trotsky, who was one of the leading Bolsheviks, communist Marxists of the Bolshevik Revolution. They created that phrase to label people to get them to look like the bad guy, and nothing has fucking changed. The only thing that is worse now is the pussification and cowardice of the far right or just right-wing Republicans in general.
Yeah, and they Republicans eat their own, but they have their own new phrase for racist, and that's pedo. If you've ever noticed, anytime that somebody disagrees with you on the right, what do they go? Well, you're a pedo. It's the backpedaling. I grew up in the 80s in grammar school, and it was racist. No. I have black friends, and I remember feeling uncomfortable when you was a kid, didn't know how to handle somebody calling me a racist. And I'm like, yeah, I'm friends with so-and-so and this, that. And now I'm all like, no, I love black pussy, and fucking go look at my porn search history. And you'll see that I keep waiting for Venus and Serena Williams to come out with a lesbian tape that I could wind up enjoying. But I digress. That's going to cover a far few bases of taboo on that one. Again, it all boils down to exactly everything you're saying. And I think the root problem that I agree with you at least on is that, fundamentally speaking, I think the country's fucked because of conservatives, because of the lack of action, the inaction, the tolerance. I'm all about accepting shit. I don't tolerate it. And I think that, to be honest, I kind of want another 4 years of Biden, just so shit gets really bad that we have no choice but to start just I don't know, doing the work, if you will. That's just me. I don't fucking.
That's exactly what I predicted, or not what I predicted. I actually said that needs to happen. I believe this country needs to get worse and worse and worse. And for the Republicans, like you said, Dominic, the conservatives and Republicans to take action, they must feel hopeless, and they must feel so disenfranchised to where there's no other option other than the 1776 option. And this is why they will not have him win. Trump will be elected, and that will keep the conservative base at bay. They'll suck Trump's cock. Doesn't matter what he does. They'll keep sucking his cock to where he can do anything or allow anything to happen to this country. And not only will they back him up, even if something bad does happen that they admit to, they'll simply just blame the Democrats.
That's what they did. In 2016 to 2018, you had the executive branch and you had the legislative branch. So you have the House, and the Speaker was Paul Ryan, and you had the Senate, and they got nothing done in 2 years. And Trump didn't get blamed for that. It was because the Democrats stymied it all, or the rhinos stymied it all. John McCain gave the thumbs down. Trump didn't get any blame and still doesn't. Among the Trumpers, they will not acknowledge the vaccine. They won't acknowledge the shutdowns. They won't acknowledge any of it. They look at that and say, well, he was given the advice by Fauci and he couldn't go against it. He pushed it to the states. He said, we'll let the states figure it out. He was handcuffed, Matt. He was handcuffed.
No, he doesn't need the states to figure it out. He can take full action. He has full authority constitutionally to react not only to COVID, but to the BLM riots, and he did nothing. He has full constitutional authority to shut down Obamacare for it being unconstitutional. All he has to do is activate the federal law enforcement agencies and have everybody for charge.
If Trump had the staff that Biden had, where Biden is just a fucking rubber stamp. I don't think he knows what the hell he's doing. The Trump staffers are the one, or Biden's staffers are the ones who are doing all the work. If Trump had a staff full of people who were eradicating all the unconstitutional shit and moving us forward in a constitutional pro country, and Trump was rubber stamped, I think that we would get shit done. But no, I don't know what. I look back on it and I blame myself for being so policy ignorant, where you can ask me, well, what was your favorite policy of Trump's from his presidency? And I'll be like, I don't know. Because I didn't pay attention. Because again, I was led by the fucking Trump train of we need change. I was sick of Obama. I was an Obama supporter in 2008 when he first came out. I thought the man was going to fucking change the world. Oh my God, did he ever for shit. And I'm very curious to see what happens after 2024, because either he's going to get elected, then you have another 4 years of just not this to say nothing's going to fucking change. It's going to be more people sitting on their hands waiting for Daddy Trump to do something. Then 2028 is going to come about, and I don't know where the heck we're going to go from there. Or he's not going to win, and then what I sadly see. Because if he does win, at least people have 4 more years. But I want to see where all of these blue check marks, all of these people who their identity has literally become a Trump supporter. I'm going to Mar-a-Lago. I'm going to get a photo with him. I'm going to fly my flag. What are you going to do when he just rides off into obscurity? Well, I mean, the Trump brand now, I don't know if it has another 20 years. Right. I don't know what's going to happen.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think he has another 20 years, but you do have his sons and even his youngest son, Barron. The guy, you guys probably seen, he's like 6'9". Yeah. He's just like grown over these last 4 years. And they say he's very sharp. So Barron, you have
the omen.
Yeah, but okay, so here's the deal with that too, right? Fuck that, dude. I don't want more legacies, because for people who can't decide between 100% for the bullshit between the people who are like, well, I'm supporting RFK Jr. I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? Because you like the fact that he's anti-vaccine. Forget about the now resurfacing videos and interviews of him being anti-Second Amendment or him being whatever. He comes from the establishment family of fucking America. Yeah, I'm sure you got the Rockefellers there. The fucking Kennedys. Do I want another Kennedy? I already had the Lion of the Senate. Dude, why do we as Americans, why are we so stupid that if somebody is of a better status than us, that makes them qualified to run a country? The Rock needs to run. We are a fucking stupid people. We deserve to have China show up on our shores, kung fu our ass in the middle of next week. It's not going to happen to me. I'm going to lay some motherfuckers out. But we deserve that. We deserve the Asian invasion. We deserve it.
I don't think China is going to ever invade. I mean, they don't need to invade. We've destroyed our own country ourselves. They'll just come over and buy everything up whenever it's a fire sale, whenever our dollar hits practically nothing. And we're Weimar Republic 2.0. There's never going to be a military invasion in America. That's just my opinion. However, what I do see is if Trump gets elected, or right before, right after, there will be a false flag terrorist attack like there always is, and it'll give them excuses to take out Israel's final enemy, which is Iran, and then America will be rah, 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 let's go take out more terrorists again, and then more implementation of Patriot Act style legislation, more government overreach, and people will gladly be taxed more and be happy with printing more money to go fight wars overseas for false flag initiatives just to go help our greatest ally.
It's a vicious cycle, man. Yeah. It is. You've seen it again and again. It's really hard to undo legislation once it's been approved, once it's been voted on, and once it's been put into law. It's really hard to undo those, but it's very easy to get those passed through. And a lot of the things that get passed through, it gets passed through in secret, or they throw in these little things that, like the TikTok ban, they threw in with the aid spending bill. And it's those little things that go unnoticed, and that most people are just trying to live their life, earn a living, raise a family, and they don't pay attention to that stuff. And before you know, you have right after 9/11, people were unified, people were together, and the Patriot Act seemed like a good idea at the time to some. I mean, there were some people that were awake at the time, but the Patriot Act was a huge infringement on the Constitution.
Yeah. Wasn't there, Joe? What was just voted? What was just was that shit? Something was just voted.
The Anti-Semitism Awareness Act. It was HR Bill 6090. We talked about it last Monday, and it's Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, where it vaguely describes the definition of anti-Semitism, and basically it's an anti-free speech.
But it does give the Justice Department more unilateral permissions and power to go use wiretapping however they want to, go after anybody for saying anything. And, it's literally an anti-free speech.
We have that in Germany now. Germany has these anti-free speech laws where you can't question certain things.
16 countries in Europe.
16 countries in Europe.
Australia and Canada.
Right. You can't question the Holocaust, the narrative of the Holocaust at all. In fact, we talked about this on a show recently, Dominic, with the publisher of Culture Wars, Michael Jones, Dr. Michael Jones. He said that here, and this is, again, don't use that strategy on us. Right? Well, you're being anti-Semitic for even saying this, but it is the truth. Auschwitz is located in Poland. It was one of the main concentration camps during World War II. They lowered their number from 4 million to 1 million dead. Yes, they did that. Now, publicly did that. It's a known thing. You can look it up. However, if you question the number 6 million, let's do the math equation again. Me and you, Matt, real quick.
Go ahead.
Right? What's 4 million minus 1 million?
It's 3 million.
Well, no, you're wrong. It's 6 million.
That's right.
And you're anti-Semitic too for saying that.
Yeah. So, well, the thing is, and again, Europe already has these laws. Great Britain does not. But the point is that they can stretch that out to anything that they want to. And when they do that, you're going to see people just like you have in Europe. 15,000 individuals are in jail for questioning or / denying Holocaust details. That being said, you now have in Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, I believe, and a few other states have what's called
Christy Nome in South Dakota.
That's why, South Dakota. And you have other states just with broad hate speech laws. You can't do that in those states either, or at least pass around flyers or any type of informational pamphlets. You will go to prison. You'll get arrested, charged, fined, or go to prison. And you're going to see this continue because, again, the people on the right, Dominic, actually support this. Everyone I just named there were Republican governors.
What Christy Nome supports?
Even outside.
What did Christy Nome support?
Yeah,
she's already in fucking hot water.
She's bill in her state. She passed it, so you can't even question or criticize.
Right. So, but let's take the Jew topic away.
I want to get this clear. So she's North Dakota or South Dakota?
South Dakota.
So you're telling me that in South Dakota I can't go in and go, there was no 6 million Jews that were I can't put that in a post or criticize it all. I'm okay. What am I subjected to then?
Technically, they can have you charged, fined, or arrested, depending on specifically what you say. They can do that now because it is now a bill that they passed, and I believe it's so broad it just says any type of criticism.
It'll be, dude. How the fuck it'll be overturned? It's like CPD 20 years ago. I don't know if it's changed since then, but we're not allowed to enforce curfew law anymore because it was challenged for its constitutionality. So it's like you're telling me free speech. If anybody is stupid enough to start this, you're fucked. That sets a precedence. I mean, that's it.
It already exists. Yeah, they already have hate speech laws in other states, but my point is here that Governor DeSantis, I believe, Governor Abbott has one on college campuses in Texas. Now, even Donald Trump passed an executive order, signed an executive order in 2019 for the same exact thing. Anti-Semitism, hate speech on college campuses. This is what Trump did. It was an executive order. Absolutely. It was under the Civil Rights Act. He did it. Again, completely unconstitutional. He did it anyway. Republicans supported it. DeSantis flew over to Israel to sign a Florida state law anti-Semitism bill. He goes to another fucking country to do it.
And we had John Burke on. He agreed. John Burke even agreed. He said, yeah, that was a bad look. To sign any type of legislation in a foreign country.
He still wanted to vote for him.
Yeah, but
I don't understand. I've never understood these governors. So my governor's J.B. Pritzker, piece of shit. And it shows how stupid Americans are. He was the one who was caught on tape with our other corrupt governor, Rod Blagojevich, who Trump pardoned, which I think was a big fucking mistake. I think if you're a public official, if you're a governor of a state and you're convicted of something, you serve the whole full fucking sentence. If you abuse the people that much, he had 6 years, serve all the fucking 6 years, whatever. It's on YouTube. You could find it. The J.B. Pritzker and Blagojevich were talking about selling and buying Barack Obama's then vacant Senate seat. It's public knowledge out here. Yep. Our people know it. Yep. They voted this fat fuck billionaire in twice, right? He, Newsom, all these other people. My point is this. What are they going to other countries for to fucking deal with anything without dealing with their states first? I don't understand that at all. They should be removed.
No, I agree. But just out of curiosity, what's J.D. Pritzker's ethnicity? Do you know, Scotty?
Here we go. Matt, how dare you? How dare you?
God, they're going to do it. Number one, look at who finances their campaigns. I posted this a week ago on Instagram, and I ran out of time because there were so many of them. Almost every single representative and senator gets money, more money than anybody else, from a lobbying group called AIPAC, the American Israeli Public Affairs Committee, which is a foreign body and should by law have to register as a foreign agent, but they don't have to. And then John F. Kennedy tried to get them to register as a foreign agent. Something happened to him right before that was able to take place.
What are you saying?
But my point is this. They're going to do it for two reasons. It's because they're being bribed or blackmailed to do it. And number two, nobody ever does anything about it except for vote. And who campaigns every candidate that gets elected? The fucking lobbying group that I just fucking named. I'm just telling you. Look what they're doing to Thomas Massey, one of the only Republicans to vote against that anti-Semitism bill. Now look what they're doing to him, smearing him on the media.
Well, they came out. They made a Twitter post. Yeah, that said they're going to fund somebody to run against him.
Right? Yeah, it's ridiculous.
They did do that. Thomas Massey's a representative out of Kentucky, but again, we just to make this clear. I think you'll agree with me here, Matt and Dominic. I think you'll agree with me here too. It seems like you're doing these rants on African Americans, or you're doing these rants on illegal immigrants, or you're doing these rants on Jews. Here's the point of it all: is I can give you another example of these free speech bills that are going to probably creep up in a way like in Canada. The reason why a guy named Jordan Peterson, who we're all familiar with, got so popular is because here in Toronto, they were handing out citations and tickets for misgendering people. And the reason why Jordan Peterson got so popular was because he stood up and said, no, you're not. This is about free speech. You're not going to force me to use your language because it makes you uncomfortable or you get triggered by something. The idea of free speech here is we can sit here and have a conversation about anything we want to without any repercussions as far as legal repercussion goes. Now, like in our case, we were having the Free podcast, and we said some things. Matt made the comment, well, you didn't build that. You didn't build shit. Well, we had people that want to come here and confront us. That's maybe a consequence, you could say, of the free speech. You know, there's some people that will push back or feel threatened or triggered to the point where they would want to physically confront us. But as far as legal issues go, having a piece of legislation saying that I can't say this, or I can't criticize this group, or you can't say this about this person or that person. That's what we're here fighting against.
Yeah.
We're not, I mean, look, we rail on
the problem
every
is,
single.
It goes back to this as well, too. Now, for the last several weeks, I have been saying I don't have a dog in the fight between Israel and Palestine. I don't care, dude. I don't fucking care. And a couple of weeks ago, Matt, I asked you to explain why I should care. You explained it. That still is, it made sense to me. But now, just like these little shitheads who are on college campuses, blocking roadways, this and that, and you're going to make me late to pick up somebody from the airport, fuck you and your side for Palestine. Well, now all of a sudden, if you're telling me that if I want to criticize Jews in any way, shape, or form, I could be held criminally liable, fuck you. What makes you so much more important than me and my background? This is the shit that I don't think they understand that well, maybe they do. And maybe whoever did write the playbook for how to cause massive division knows that you're going to take your typical libertarian American who is just like, dude, I don't give a shit about your side. I want to eat pizza, work on my motorcycle, fuck loose women, and just go fishing from time to time. That's what I want to do, right? Oh, now you're telling me I have to care about a fucking social justice issue? Now I'm pissed because you're doing it. Now that's going to make me choose a side. I think that's what they're doing on purpose. I really do. Now it is making me go, fuck you and your pile of shoes. That's what it's making me do. There's your T-shirt.
Yeah, well,
there's your T-shirt. Fuck you and your pile of shoes.
I'm definitely going to make one now. Yeah, actually, Dominic, I'm glad you said that because I am going to make one now. But you're absolutely right. But it's, you know, we always say we want to be left alone. They have not been leaving us alone for 100 fucking years. It's just continually and progressively gotten worse. And they keep pushing and pushing and pushing until the point where the people are going to basically accept it. Look how many conservative, quote unquote, and Republicans are in favor of these anti-free speech laws. And it's crazy to me because Democrats voted against it more than Republicans did, which is fucking insane. Usually it's the other way around. And it's crazy to me. And this is why, like you said, there are people who are going to accept it because nobody wants to do 1776. No one even wants to speak about doing 1776. And if you have no one willing to or even willing to speak about doing that, then it's never going to fucking happen because everyone is a fucking cunt. And I'm talking about the people who are against this stuff that don't speak about doing what's necessary and needs to be done. That's it.
I didn't get the applaud button in time, but fucking here's the problem is nothing that you said is inaccurate. Nothing. How many times do I have to vocalize my frustration? And I look at the position that I'm in, right? No kids, not married. Relatively still in great fucking shape, almost 50. So I got maybe 15 more years of fucking fighting in me, right? Why can't I go to battle for what I believe in? I'm going to fly an American flag on my fucking house. I am the only house in my cul-de-sac that has an American flag. I have an American flag on the green screen background of my show, but I don't want to go to fucking fight. The more that you bring this up, here's the problem. You fucking kind of make my blood boil to where I'm like, I wish somebody would say jump Froggy and collectively we all do that. But then I start overanalyzing and thinking, well, then when the dust settles, and we're gonna have just like that that movie, the movie's coming out, fucking Civil War. What kind of American are you? Who are we gonna fucking side with? Are we gonna have the Matty Wack side, the Stu Peters side, the fucking one of the pastors who's pro-America, his side? We're all going to be amongst ourselves too, trying to figure out who's going to run shit next. So let me ask you a question on that. Is the lack of decision-making, is the lack of action also glue that's the last thing that's holding us together? Because if conservatives... Go ahead. No, go ahead. Because this is extremely multifaceted.
Holding us together into what? You know what I'm saying? It's like the slaves trying to get off the plantation. Hey, let's escape. Nah, man. I mean, we kind of got it good here. We get fed. We get free housing. We get free clothing. You know, we get injured. They take care of us because they need us to work. just like cattle.
Yeah.
So glue holding us together into what?
Yeah. No.
Into what we are right now. And you said a good thing there, Dominic. You said, what did you say? You said,
well, we talked about this Monday.
Can't remember.
We don't think that this, Matt and I agree with this, that we don't think there's going to be a full-on societal collapse. Like people that are preppers, they're thinking about doomsday with the bunkers and the, 10 years of food that they're collecting. Glenn Beck pushed that for years on the Blaze there about get your dried food storage because the bad times are coming. I think that they're not going to let it get that bad. I think they're going to continue with the breads and circus for as long as they can. I think Matt doesn't think so, but I think eventually they're going to offer some sort of universal basic income. Do you remember Andrew Yang? He ran in 2020
well,
Democratic ticket, and he was pushing.
That's the mark.
Yep, I think they're going to keep people fat, happy, and comfortable playing their video games, eating their Cheetos, eating their Oreos, and then they can run things better. If they let things collapse too bad or let things get too bad, then you're going to see that uprising. It's going to have to be done at some point if society gets so bad. So I don't think it's going to let that happen. And to Matt's point as well. Good.
No, but how stupid? What Matt just said was 100% right about the slaves, right? Because if it was real, the Jews did the same thing. You're going to tell me that 6 million Jews let a few thousand Nazis with guns take them over? So it's the fear of not knowing, allegedly. It's the fear of the unknown versus the small bit of comfort we have now. And again, my lack of any type of willingness is, well, I'm not going to trade one shit-ass fucking side for a bunch of now conservatives who think that they should be worshipped as king, this guy, that guy, whatever. I want to be left the fuck alone. And the problem is they're not letting me stay alone. They're constantly stirring shit up, and that's the problem I fucking have. Leave me alone. They don't want to.
Yeah. And that's what I have a problem with these prepper people or these and I like this guy, is Owen Benjamin talks about, just go on a farm and raise your own food and blah, blah, blah. Okay, you're still paying property tax. You're still using currency that's completely devalued because the American government is in charge of that currency. They're not going to leave you alone. You can't just run off and go play Little House on the Prairie and expect your nation to be okay where they're never going to, do anything to you. It's insanity to me. And this is what the founders thought, Dominic. The founders were like, okay, well, what are we doing after this, right? After they beat the British? Well, they had the Constitutional Convention. They put together a document called the Constitution. And this is what we're going to live by. We're decimated. We're broke. Thousands of our men got killed. A lot of people were loyalists. Only 30% of the population even supported our revolution. But we're going to stick together. We're going to ratify this Constitution. All 13 colonies did it, and they adhered to it for a very long time until, after decades, it started getting, violated here and there. But that's what they did. They took the risk. They took the chance, and America was born. All we have to do, we don't even have to do that, Dominic. We have the Constitution. All we got to do is eliminate the domestic enemies of this country and then restore the Constitution. We already have the platform, the foundation. We have this already.
We have the blueprint here.
We have the blueprint. We have to restore it. So when the dust settles, we go back to this. The people must adhere to it. And the whole reason the country's fucked is because we haven't adhered to it.
We know the first responders don't like to adhere to it. They don't even fucking know it. And that's one of the biggest problems out there.
Unbelievable.
That's just, I not to segue too much, but I'm on this unbelievable kick of this First Amendment auditors who I can't believe how stupid some of our men and women in blue are that just don't fucking know. It absolutely blows me away. I'm looking here online. The population of the United States.
Power trip. I see a lot of those videos, Dominic, from that First Amendment auditor. A lot of these officers in these videos just seem to be filled with this sense of power.
Let me explain.
I just have.
Let me afford this to you both a little bit. Both you gents are married, right? I know that Scotty has kids. Matt, I don't know if you have kids yet. I don't know. But
I don't. I do not have kids.
Smart
Doesn't
guy.
have any swimmers.
There you go. So, I was raised in a household where the matriarchy was far, far superior to the patriarchy, and my father's the strongest man I know for putting up with that bullshit for fucking 40 years. 50 years, holy shit. Anyways, imagine this, if you will. You got, may not be you guys, but it's for the guy, it's for the gentleman who's listening right now. You got a fucking cunt nagging wife at home. Fucking cunt. Just bitches about everything, hasn't put out in months, makes it a fucking 15-minute event for when you do, and it's like she's doing you a favor, and just, I mean, she looks like shit, hasn't worked out in God knows how long, and she's always tired and not in the mood, so your basic physical needs aren't getting met. You're guilted into not being able to go to the gym because that means that you want to look better? Is that for other fucking women? All the shit that women like to do at home, right? You go to work, your asshole fucking cunt bosses are coming down on you for the stupidest shit on the planet. I mean the stupidest shit. They're like, you didn't put that, you didn't dot an I in your last report. Sarge, we're using fucking computers now. You didn't dot an I. What are you talking about? Rewrite your report. I have to rewrite my report because I can't do anything against this man because he's in the same fucking situation as a cunt wife comes to work and takes it out on me. And it's not like, you work in a bar in a restaurant where, somebody's a drunk asshole. You throw them out. That's one thing. Or you, I don't know, you're at Starbucks and you're an employee there and you can tell somebody, no, I'm not making your drink. You now can take out all of your frustration on a citizen by doing one of the most satisfying actions in the world, which is shut the fuck up. I am going to win this battle no matter what. You are going to lose. 100%. You are accurate when it comes down to that flexing of power. I will first admit this to you. It felt incredible when you pull somebody over and they're older than you, taller than you, bigger than you, more successful than you, and you can back them the fuck down with the threat of your authority and watch them cower. Greatest fucking feeling in the world, and I will not deny that I abused that on many occasions. So yeah, it's a pissing match. Cops always know they're going to win. There was a video from a cop from Illinois about 5 years ago, and that Mary King was public about this, where he said he supported the cop, and him and I argued a little bit online and told him he was the stupidest fucker in the world. This Illinois cop shows up to a scene with this black kid. Black kid's about 19 years old, and the cop says, we're going to throw down, and I'm not going to arrest you. Whatever happens, happens. And they get into a fucking physical fight, and his partner shows up, and he's like, no. I said I'm not going to arrest him. The guy ultimately got fired. And I had sat there, and I said, the problem is the subconscious mind of that black kid is, I can't win no matter what, because if I beat the shit out of this guy, 7 or 8 of his buddies are going to show up and they're all going to fuck me up. Or if I am in the middle of this fight and a cop who doesn't know what's going on shows up, he's going to put a bullet in my brain. The undeniable power police have to what is the word I'm looking for? To impose their will upon you for whatever fucking reason they want is insanely intoxicating. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, I think if people started organizing in their communities, if they had corrupt police departments and started shooting them in the streets like dogs, I bet you they would stop doing that. That's just a theory, though.
It's a theory.
That's just a theory of mine. What do you think?
Well, what I think is law enforcement now, to credit them, has become extremely demonized over the last however many years because of the George Floyd thing, the BLM crowd. All types of different, there's so many different cases, from Michael Brown case, you can look all the way back, especially during the Obama years. There were so many different instances of these Freddie Gray. I mean, the Lucy cigarette situation up in New York. I forget the name of that guy. But
that guy was actually in the right. Eric Gardner.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he was in the right.
But so now the law enforcement's so demonized that you're not getting the best qualified people applying to be law enforcement, because anybody in their right mind would be like, I don't want to do that job. I don't want to be out there doing that.
Yes, what they did, they opened the floodgates for people who just like, what a great time to fucking infiltrate law enforcement. If you're a liberal leftist who you want to change shit and abuse authority or change shit or whatever, you infiltrate law enforcement because they don't have any candidates coming on the street. You're right about Eric Garner. Now, I couldn't give a shit about the poorly executed rear naked choke that was applied to him. Why the fuck are police supporting or enforcing bullshit laws, if you will? In a capitalist society, you're going to tell me it's capitalism and the convenience store owner is pissed because some guy is selling loose cigarettes. Lower your prices, motherfucker. What compete? It's America.
Yeah, but the whole point is like, why did they enforce that law? Because, and look, cops, and I am saying collectively speaking, look collectively speaking what they have been doing. And I'm talking the past 5 years, 10 years even. They do not back the Constitution. No. They violate it.
They prove
Look
that.
Look at COVID. It's a perfect example. Not one motherfucker in the country arrested any government official for depriving or conspiring to deprive constitutional rights.
No sheriff did.
Not one.
No sheriff did.
What's that?
No sheriff did.
Yeah, right. Law enforcement, correct. It doesn't, correct. Yeah. He's elected. Nobody did anything. Trump didn't even have his federal law enforcement do anything. So why the fuck should I back, collectively speaking, law enforcement when all they have done is deprive constitutional rights or at best not enforce them, but allowing them to be enforced by others?
Got to back the blue, Matt. Okay.
Yeah.
Why? Back the blue.
You're showing all this First Amendment stuff. They don't even know the law. They don't even know the law. No. And they get away with killing people like Eric Gardner. What are you doing? Selling cigarettes out of your pack? Let me choke you to death. And he gets off scot-free, gets fired.
He didn't have a business license. He didn't have a business license, man. He couldn't. He didn't have a permit. Yeah. He didn't have a permission slip to sell.
If you go back, if you went back to the Constitution, the problem would be solved, right? You show up. Hey, I want this guy removed from my property. Why? He's selling loose cigarettes. Okay, what's wrong with that? He doesn't have a permit. Show me in the Constitution where that's something I can enforce. Sorry.
Exactly.
My views changed. My views changed when I met Sheriff Richard Mack, and he's the president of the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association. And he actually reached out to me 2016, and I was shaking in my boots kind of talking to him because I felt so unqualified to talk to a man. Because his story is he's the only person who's ever sued Bill Clinton and won and lived to tell about it for a Brady violation.
Still alive, huh?
Yeah, he's still alive. And he had said, he made me think. He goes, and I'm paraphrasing what we talked about, but he said that, like traffic citations are unconstitutional. And I'm like, no, but
I agree.
And I started saying, what the fuck? Wait a second. So I pull Matt over, and Matt's doing 15 over. If I pull you over and I address the issue and I say, Matt, please slow down, I did my job. But the second I issue a citation and you wind up having to take the day off to go to court, fight it, I have to pay for it, whatever. It's a violation of, is that 14th Amendment fines, excessive fines? 14th or 16th?
Excessive fines is eighth Amendment. Cruel and unusual punishment and excessive fines.
That violates excessive fines. It violates it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, I never realized that. And then I started to think, unless it comes down to protecting against exigent circumstances, violence, the fuck are we doing on the street proactively? Your proactive limitations for law enforcement should be driving around in a uniform and saying, don't fuck around because I'm around here. That's it. That's all it should be.
That's it. And then actual crime has to take place. I don't give a fuck how fast I'm going. If I do not actively hurt anybody, if I do not actively infringe on another person's rights, or if I don't actively destroy property, private or public, tell me where the crime is. Tell me where the crime is.
People will argue and say, well, it's a preventative thing. So if you're going too fast, like through a school zone,
my constitutional rights from being violated and put a bullet in your head. Preventative. It's preventative.
That's where I'll look at, like, that's where I'm torn, because some of the traffic laws, I can't stand equipment violations, right? I'm pulling you over for a busted license plate light out.
License plate light. License plate light twice.
Yeah. That was the easiest probable cause in the planet. Who the fuck ever looks to check in their license plate light? And my God, I can't tell you how many DUIs I got off of that shit. Now, I fucking hate. I think if you are somebody who in today's day and age drinks and drives, you deserve to be executed. There is zero excuse. You got Uber, Lyft, cabs, phone calls, and I've seen more. And the worst abusers of DUI laws are cops on the planet. That's a different story. But speeding, if you will. Yeah, every time I think about those, like I'm a motorcycle owner and rider, but driving fucking fast like an asshole doing 110 miles an hour there, that is a problem for people cutting in and out of lanes. And then you are preventing accidents by speed. And I think, honestly, when you think about it, speed, using a turn signal, I think maybe those are the only two moving violations that I think could be stopped. Hey, you didn't use your turn signal. Do me a favor, use it next time. Problem solved. Hey, do me a favor. You're going too fast.
Can't you make the argument that the speed limits are too low?
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
okay, here's what we're going to do. Yeah. We're going to get people for speeding, and we're going to set the speed limit at this cuck fucking rate. So everyone's going to speed because it's a bullshit speed limit. We're going to make it 65. Other states have it 75 or whatever it is. We're going to make it 55. Other states have it 70, whatever the case. And then all you have to do is be 5 miles over, or 6 miles over the limit with radar.
No,
11 with VASCAR.
1 mile.
Boom.
1 mile an hour and over is probable cause to pull you over. 1 mile an hour. So, but you're right. That's revenue generation.
What state?
That's revenue generation. Every state, by law, if you are 1 mile an hour over.
Not Pennsylvania. Yeah. Pennsylvania radar, they got to give you 6.
Point being is that's for revenue generation.
They have to give you 11 or 10. Then 11 you pull you over.
But that's only revenue generation, right? I agree. I agree with what you said, because they're setting a standard for you to get pulled over and cited. If you removed traffic citations and just said, hey, Matt, man, you're doing 90 and a 60. Do me a favor, just keep it slow. And that's it. The problem is solved. You addressed and corrected the behavior. Yes. I can't follow you around to where you're going to go to work. So that's a big problem I have. I think that if more cops were less revenue generators, we have a different side. But again, the problem goes back to your command staff, where they're pressed on by their bosses, chief, mayor. They're pressed on by their fucking cunt spouses at home. So they come in at work and they say, hey, you got that, they don't call them quotas, they're performance evaluations. You got your performance evaluation coming up in 3 weeks. You only pulled over 2 people last month. All right, now I got to go hit fucking 10 a night. So yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit.
Oh man,
they incentivize that.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
It's a fucking racket. It's a fucking racket.
Dude, the last person I trained came in, and I told him flat out, don't punish the fucking citizen. Soon as he went to another FTO and he's on midnights, the bitch that he was working with pulls somebody over for cannabis, arrests the driver for cannabis. Back then in 2014, 2015, we had probable cause to search everyone and their mother if you smell the odor of cannabis in the car. Searches the passenger, not the driver at this point, it's the passenger. Finds a single oxycodone pill in her purse. And she says, that's my mother. She gave it to me because I was having back pain a couple of years ago. Puts on the bracelets, class 4 felony. You're going to, because this person needed 7 points for their felony arrest for their performance evaluation. I've been saying this for fucking years. People have, I back the blue. Really? The blue will fuck you over the first chance they get. You have no idea what they're incentivized to do. There you go.
Protect and serve. It is a big fraternity. That FOP, the Fraternal Order of Police. There is a loyalty they have to each other.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
A lot of times.
No, they don't.
You don't think so?
No, they eat each other fucking faster than you could believe, man. So you get that cops are the worst people on the planet because, and they're the best too, right? I have a love-hate relationship with my former profession because they'll turn on you. They'll fucking turn on you the second you do something. Oh yeah, they're ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just they're doing now. They're revenue. They're just revenue generators for their masters who give them their paycheck, pension, and benefits, and they will do whatever they're fucking told to keep receiving those paycheck, pension, and benefits. And that being said, they will violate further and further anybody's rights and oppress people as long as they're getting a paycheck. I've had cops admit this to me. I've had them admit that to me. They're done. And all they are in the end are bodyguards for tyrants.
Yes,
That's all they are. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if it wasn't for police officers, politicians would just be dead guys.
Dude, we would have a very well-run country that had proper term limits by people saying, I'm not fucking doing this anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. Chicago, I can't believe CPD. I don't know what the status is now, but CPD, who was vilified, demonized, shit all over by that fucking Bull Dyke mayor we had before, and then she had them guard the street that she lived on when protesters wanted to come by her. I'm like, how are you guys doing this? Now, I guess in Daley Plaza, they allowed the Palestine flag to be flown above the American flag. What? The fuck is wrong with you? So I have no idea. You want to see, and this, I tell this people all the time, you want to see how many of you have corrupt cops that just don't know they're corrupt? Put a post on your social media and flat out ask, hey, for all my law enforcement friends out there, how many of you base your issuance of a citation on the attitude and language of the driver? And watch how many admit.
You think they'll be honest?
They can't help themselves. Yeah, it's if I've got it's on. I did a fucking podcast, Two Cops, One Donuts, a couple weeks ago, and the cop was on there, and we're talking about this. He goes, yeah, I'm pretty much, my decision is made once they start mouthing off. And I went, did you just say that out loud on a fucking podcast where you're identified, you're visual, we could see you, this and that, and he didn't realize what he said was wrong. So it's fucking ridiculous. There you go.
Put them on a list.
Well, I mean, that if someone's being cooperative and being like pleasant to deal with, that's who most likely they'll be easier on. But if someone is, which they have every right to push back, they have every right to not to be confrontational, but to just say, no, I'm going to exercise my Fifth Amendment right.
Whoa. What do you mean they don't have a right to be confrontational? You have every constitutional right to say, officer, go fuck your mother. Here's my driver's license. Where's that illegal?
Yeah.
Where is it? Officer, you're a fat piece of shit. What'd you pull me over for today? There is nothing they could do about it. Nothing at all. I'm sorry,
you're right,
but we need to have more of this because cops need to be able to sit there and say, this is a job like anything else. It's a fucking job. And sadly, if it's not within the color of the law, the letter of the law, I can't enforce this shit. And we
need to have more citizens armed in resistance to this.
We're going to be on a fucking FBI watch list somewhere. All right.
I'm already on
I
it.
know you are.
I'm on all of them.
That's fine. All right, kids, the Burn Pit Podcast. Monday, what do you guys got coming up for the Burn Pit Podcast?
Well, this coming Monday, we're off, Dominic. Matt's wedding anniversary, plus I got to get this website up and running. But after that, we got some big things planned. Memorial Day is the Monday after that, so I think we're off again.
Yeah.
But coming back June 3rd, what we're looking at is getting Bryce Mitchell and Ian Smith on together at once on a podcast.
That's a lot of testosterone before you guys are. Holy shit.
Sam Parker on. He was a former Senate candidate in the state of Utah. He ran against Mitt Romney. He's been on a few times, but Matt and him are going to do a one-on-one.
Shit, I'm going to up my needle game just to wind up being level with you guys. All right, guys, fucking Spreely.com. If you got it, stick it right in your ass. Have a great damn Wednesday. We'll see you guys tomorrow for more of the Rants of Izzo here on Spreely Media. Go help somebody today, and if you can't help them, don't fucking hurt them. See you guys later.